So if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I am more into the old classic, old school hot rods rather than the modern muscle. Now I do have this 2019 Camaro, but you know, I've said it multiple times that I prefer my old C10. It'll always be my favorite. But after a while of messing around with that old thing and it always needing some kind of maintenance done to it, or something was always broken, I thought, you know, maybe these modern cars do have their place. I mean, you can't break these things, right? They're a canned race car, I like to call them. Yeah, so I broke down. I broke, you know. I went and got this brand new Camaro SS, did a few minor modifications to it, changed the wheels, tires, did a little exhaust work. That's it, you know. Wanted to keep it as reliable as possible. Well, I should have just stuck with my old C10. This thing broke down sitting in my garage with less than 4,000 miles on it. That's what I get. Okay, but all joking aside, this car really did. It had some trouble. I came and got in it after it had been sitting in here in the garage for a few weeks. I had the check engine light come on. It wouldn't run. It was running really poorly, and I thought it might have some pretty serious problems. Turned out not to be too bad. Anyway, the details on that are coming up right now. Okay guys, so like I said, this car, if you saw my last video where I broke down on the side of the road in my old C10, at the end of that video I mentioned that I was having some engine trouble with the Camaro. Well, at that time, city living, it'll get you every time. Alright, so like I was saying, at that time I didn't have a clue what could be going on with it. It had been sitting out here in the garage for a couple of weeks. If you've been following, I've been extremely busy with work, and the weather's been really bad anyway. The point is, I haven't been able to drive the car much. So it's been sitting out here next to my C10, which usually sits right here. Oh, if you didn't notice, it's gone. It's actually in the shop right now, getting a tune-up. It's been running kind of poorly, and I'm not a good carburetor tuner, so I've got a guy here working on that. And the truck had a little bit of a header leak. You can hear it right here. So I'm getting that taken care of. But anyway, it'll be back. Back on topic, okay? So I came out here a couple of weeks ago to take the Camaro for a little spin, and when it started up, it was running really rough. RPM gauge wouldn't stay steady. It was running, you know, just like it was missing actually. And then a little bit, the Service Stabilitrak light came on, and I've got drag radials on the rear, and they're pretty tall. So I had to get some front tires, you know, try to match the height. Otherwise, if they don't match fairly closely, you may already know this, it messes up the Stabilitrak, and it will make the car just do all kinds of crazy stuff. So the tires had kind of lost some air from sitting in here so long. So I aired the tires up and pulled it out of the garage, and by that time it was running really bad. Like, I mean, sputtering, and just there was this substance coming out of the tailpipe. It was like black and like condensation, but it had like oily looking black soot, I guess. I wish I would have got some of this on camera, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I was just like, oh my gosh, you know what's going on. Anyway, I did get a little clip of the check engine light, which came on shortly after I started messing with it. So at this point, I was just, freaking out. This car got less than 4,000 miles on it. I've done everything right. I've changed the oil properly, I did the break-in period. I didn't rev it above 4,000 RPMs for the first 1,500 miles. I was like, what could be going on? So anyway, I took it back to the dealer, and they checked it out and found out that there had been 2 injectors fail. Anyway, dealer, ordered the parts, the warranty would cover it. Long story short, I did get it fixed, so it's okay now. But I wanted to let you guys know this, because I'm actually aware of another 2019 Camaro that had injector problems, early on. You may already be aware there's another YouTube channel that's got a 2019 Camaro featured on it pretty often. The channel is called 1080 Video. I actually saw it. I was doing some research to try to figure out what might be wrong with this car when that happened. And I found that car, those guys on that channel, and their car was doing something similar to what mine was, except maybe a little bit more serious. Anyway, in their video they were expressing that they were concerned, that the engine might be blown, which they do a lot of mechanic work themselves, I think, and so they tore it down themselves and found out that it was an injector problem, which now their car has been modified more than mine has. I think they had converted it to E85, and I think they had deleted all of the catalytic inverters, the primaries and the secondaries, and I'm sure they tuned it. So it had been modified more than mine, but still I'm wondering if possibly these cars have an issue with the injectors. So I'm telling you all this if you've got a 2019 Camaro, or even a 2020, possibly, and the engine light comes on, and it starts running poorly, missing, maybe don't freak out. It could be an injector issue. Just take it back to the dealer. Hopefully they won't give you any trouble. And, hopefully that's all it is. But anyway, like I was saying, this is really frustrating to me. Like I said in the intro, I was, that was kind of meant to be humorous, but I was like, are you kidding me? I bought this car so that it would be, completely reliable. Could just get in it and go, feed my need for speed, and get away from that old, always having to deal with something wrong with it that I always experience with my old truck. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of making me rethink it. I know I'm complaining, but things just happen like that. And it's just frustrating. You pay so much for a brand new car like this, and then something like that happens. And I hear about it happening all the time. I'm rambling now. I'm gonna let that one slide. At least that did sound pretty good. But, like I said, the C10's gone for a little while. It's in the shop, getting it tuned up. Hopefully it'll run nice and strong. The weather's warming up. Spring is finally approaching. The flowers are blooming. It's starting to really get warmer. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully this virus issue won't last too long, and we can get out and have, some fun with the car and the truck. Sorry about that. Battery died. So since that happened, I'm gonna end this video right here. But like I said, the C10 is in the shop with my tuner, getting freshened up for the warmer weather. So I've got some stuff planned for that. I'm gonna get out and have some adventures with the C10, and I'm gonna be doing some work to it shortly. And like I said, the Camaro is healthy now. I had a scare with it, and it is disheartening, but I know this things just happen. So hopefully it doesn't mean, that the car overall is a lemon. I'm going to be taking it back to the track just as soon as I can. A lot of the tracks are closing down because of the virus issue, but as soon as I'm able to, I'm going to take it back to the track and get some more proper testing in with the drag radials. If you're a regular viewer, you probably know that back in the fall when I got the tires that I didn't get to properly test them before the tracks shut down. So I'm going to be doing that just as soon as I'm able to. Got lots of good stuff coming. And if you would, hit the like button on these videos. It does support the channel, helps distribute it out better. And if you are new, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one.